Everybody's muted. Okay, this one? We're good? All right. Okay, Chevra. Today's share is a schis for Kiva Simcha Vega, for Zivugum, for Chav Basmem, Ahuv Basmem, and Davidar Ben Pina Peril. Just if you guys are settling in, let us go. How are you? We're starting. We see the last night we're. What was not invited? Okay, we're starting Chavov Amar Aleph on the top. Second line from the top. This is going to be the Chazar from yesterday. Remember, it was very, very basic Gemara, easy, simple, straightforward, and here we go. Just giving knas, you know what I'm saying? All right. Tanya, we learned in a Brisa. Amar Rabbi Chananya ben Akavi. Rabbi Chananya ben Akavi says, Koisei Svarim, those who write Svarim, Tefillin umezuzos, Hein v'tagrein, they're salesmen. V'tagre tagrein, it's talking about. I know, but the mic doesn't hear, but I'm asking. Now it's all quiet. Hein v'tagrein, v'tagre tagrein, they're salesmen, they're retailers, they're wholesalers, everybody that's involved in this thing. V'chol oiskim v'melechas shamayim, and everyone that's oisik in melechas shamayim. Now, what's melechas shamayim adding? Melechas shamayim is adding l'asui moichet chelas, to add moichet chelas, people who sell tzitzis. All these people are peturin mikriya shema u'minat tefillah u'minat tefillin. We call mitzvahs hamurz b'Torah. Basically, they have a full clean pass when it comes to all the mitzvahs. And like we discussed, what are we talking about? We're talking about not just someone who's 9 to 5 is a sofer or selling. It's somebody more. Is like the Chabad shluchim that are going by all these random places, trying to find the Yid, trying to get them putting on tefillin. That technically would be considered a people who are involved in melechas shemayim. So, Lekam Divrei Rabbi Yosef Glili, to be Lekam, this is what Rabbi Yosef Glili says. Shalei Rabbi Yosef Glili Yomer Ha'oisik b'mitzvah patam min mitzvah. Now, something I saw interesting on Rabbi Yosef Glili, and again, today's Gemara is also going to be very light. Rabbi Yosef Glili was. There's an interesting story about him. He actually married his niece, his sister's daughter. That's what it says. He married his niece, and while he was married to her, she didn't treat him well. She embarrassed him in front of his talmidim. She didn't treat him properly, and we're good. Oh, I don't know. Something I missed. So she didn't treat him properly, and throughout, and many times. No, a niece. Someone's allowed to marry their niece. You're not allowed to marry your aunt, so it's fine. But this is only according to she that he married his niece. Anyways, he married her. She didn't treat him well. She would embarrass him in front of his talmidim, and it wasn't good. And a lot of people started telling him, maybe divorce her. He said the problem is I can't afford my ksuba. Why? He said that normally there's a minimum for a ksuba, which today's days we do a standard number, whatever it is, a few thousand, 10,000, whatever the number is, we do. But back in the day, people even put higher numbers as well. And he said he couldn't afford it. So he kept on living through it. One day, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, who, when he was younger, Rabbi Yosef Glili taught him how to learn, meaning he was his Rebbe, and he taught him. And one day he was by him, and he came to him for dinner, or whatever it was, and as they're walking to the house, Rabbi Yosef Glili's wife is leaving, and she's like, give him some attitude. So, she's leaving, I'm leaving. So he says, I see there's a pot in the stove. Is there any food here for me? So she said, yeah, there's some boiled grilled vegetables. So he goes to check, and he opens the pot, and he sees that there's chicken, not vegetables. So when he pulls it out, Elazar ben Azariah tells him, she said there's vegetables, chicken. He says, no, there's a nest for us. He didn't want to say that she blatantly lied. After the meal, Elazar ben Azariah tells him, what's going on here? I'm hearing, this is not good for you. What's happening here? You got to leave her. He said the same answer. I can't afford the ksuba. So Elazar ben Azariah, who we know was extremely wealthy, beyond wealthy, to the point that when it says how to be wealthy, if you're wealthy like him, you have to give certain stakas. It says this is wealthy, and we're not talking about Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, who he was so wealthy it was like not a standard thing. He gave him the money, and he divorced her, and he got remarried, and so on. Now, what happened to this lady? She got divorced. She ended up marrying the town's watchman. Right after she married him, he went blind, and they were afflicted. Tsaras, they had tsaras she got tsaras for Averis. He went blind. His job was to watch the town, and they can't watch the town. He's blind. They started going around collecting. She had to go, hold his hand, collecting money wherever they went. And always, whenever they were going through town, she avoided the section of town that basically lived in. She was embarrassed. And he started realizing we're constantly missing this part. And he was the town's watchman. He knows the town by heart. He says, why don't we ever go here? There's a famous guy. Basically, he's at that point he was already wealthier, and he gives tzedakah, so on. No, he gives tzedakah and so on. Why don't we go to him? He'll give us. So no. After a few times, he makes her. Why aren't we going there? So I'm his divorcee. So they got into the mindset. He says, "Who cares? We're going to go there. We need money." And they started getting into a fight in the street. Their mom was fighting over there in the street, and it was loud noises. And he hears it. He's not too far. He goes outside and he sees what's going on. He rushes over, and he chaps what's happening, and he tells them, "Don't worry, I'm going to arrange for you an apartment for the rest of your lives and food, everything taken care of." So very interesting. Aside from the fact, again, she was his niece, but aside from that, he was mekayim. It says he was mekayim the mitzvah. Umipsocha tesalim. What do you mean umipsocha tesalim? That do not turn away from your flesh. What's this talking about? In general, a person, and we had a different story. I remember in Tanis was a little different. There's another Amayr who had a similar story that gave money to his ex. It says umipsocha tesalim. You have nothing to do with her. They didn't have kids together. Whatever. There's nothing to do. So the answer is that. Why did the Rabbanan Shalom create Adam? And this is something that I heard verbally. This is two things that I'm putting them together. Why did Rabbanan Shalom create Adam alone, and then after Chava came from him? The answer is because he could have made a man and a woman. Why not? The answer is that she's Ezer Connected. She's part of him. The man, Hashem created the man. You're one. Your wife is really somehow part of your neshama, and you connect in this world. So if for whatever reason they connected, then they were meant to be, and they're connected forever. Even if you divorce your wife, somehow you guys are connected and you're not gone. So if, let's say, she's struggling, whatever it is, you're mechuyev to help your family more than any random person they give tzedakah to. Anyways, this is just a little bit interesting regarding your basic Lili. Tana Rabbanan, the Rabbanan learned, Hochei drachim b'yoyim, those who are going on the way by day. P'tur min ha-sukkah, part from the sukkah b'yoyim by day. V'chevim b'layla, and the chayav by night, because obviously they're not traveling then. Again, when they're traveling, they're potter. When they're not traveling, when they're chayiv. Those who are going on the way by day and by night, they're potter from the sukkah, side by day and side by night. Now, now we're moving. Now again, that was drachim, that was for your rishos. Now it's for a dvar mitzvah. They're potter whether by day or by night. Why? Because you're on your way to mitzvah, even if you're only going by day, you're potter across the board. Kihad, Rav Chizda, Rav Bar Avuna, like we had the story with Rav Chizda and Rav Bar Avuna, Kihavu Aili b'Shabbos deragla, that they went on the Shabbos of Yom Tov. They were going to Lebei Reish Gelusa, to the Rebbe. Havaganu, they slept. They went, they took a nap, they slept. Ganu means sleep. Arakta the Surah on the riverbanks of Surah. And they said, Anan Shulchan Mitzvah, Anan, we are Shulchan Mitzvah, and that's why we're not mechuyev to go and find a sukkah. We're going to our Rebbe, and we're going to learn Torah. U'p'turin, and we're pater. Tana Rabbanan, today, this is the new part for today, and again, it's going to be very straightforward, very simple. Shemrei Eir, talking about Shemrei Eir, watchman, like Rabbi says, a kiss from Hashem. Anyways, Shemrei Eir, Bayayim, P'turin, and sukkah. By day, they're pater from the sukkah. Bayayim, the V'chevim Balayla. Same type of concept. They're watching by day, pater by day. Shemer balayla p'turim min hasukah balayla v'chevim b'yayim. Shemer ir bein b'yayim u'vein balayla. Those who watch the city by night, day and night, mean their full 24-hour shifts. P'turim min hasukah bein b'yayim u'vein balayla. Very simple. Whenever you are working, you're pater from sukkah. Now this is going to be the last part. Shemer ganes u'pardesim. Those who watch orchards, gardens and orchards. Ganes is gardens. Upardesim is orchards. They're potter both by day and by night. And Rashi says because they're takadir the whole time. They're there mamish 24 hours a day. They had a job, whatever it was, whatever long. They would sit in the shade to look outside. Correct. Those were watchmen. That was talking about if that overhang was a reshus. It blended in for Shabbos. Yeah, it was bring from Shabbos. If that is considered an oil, if it's not, then if it would be considered covering. V'lev du sukkah awesome, and let them build. So now we're going to ask, Okay, 1 second. These guys are here full time. So let them build a sukkah over here. What you here full time? Build a sukkah. V'leisu. Let them build a sukkah and sit and live over there. Abai says no. The reason is because the teishu came to duru. What does that mean? That teishu came to duru. You're supposed to treat your sukkah like your house, and just like your house, you have all your amenities, your bed, your pillow, your blanket, your sinks, whatever it is. This was far out into the field. Rashi says it would be a big tircha for him to schlep everything there, and he wouldn't schlep it, so he'd be missing it. It wouldn't be geshmak, so you're potter, because we're not going to force you to not be geshmak in a sukkah. Rav Amar says, Pirtze koire leganav. It's a breach in the wall for the ganav, meaning that if you just imagine, think about it like this: you look outside, and you ever go to like these chalmai trips, you go to apple picking, whatever it is, right? So you stand by a field. If you stand by the front of the field, and the whole field you're looking at it, then you can see the whole field. But if you're smack in the middle of the corn maze, there's corn all around you, and if let's say you build a sukkah in the middle, then you're creating an opening for the ganev, because if the wall of the sukkah is behind you, he could sneak in at night and steal from behind the sukkah wall. But if let's say there's going to be a pile of a small amount, and we're going to see that's going to be the answer. Ika benayu. What's the difference between what Abaye says and Rava says? Abaye says that Teshuvah came to duru. Okay, Rava says pirza that you're doing you're giving the ganav a way in. That if you have a small pile in front of you, or whatever it is, even a big pile, but it's in front of you, everything's in front of you, then the ganav is not going to steal. So that's the difference between him and Rava. So Ika benayu the mintar karya de peri. If he's watching one pile of fruits, and that's what we're going to do till today. So let's do a quick chazara. Tana Rabbanan, the Rabbanan learned. Shemei ir b'yoyim, those who watch the city by day, p'turim min sukkah b'yoyim v'chevim b'layla. They're part of the sukkah by day and they're chayav at night. Shemei ir b'layla, p'turim min sukkah b'layla v'chevim b'yoyim. Basically, whenever you're watching, that's when you're potter. You're chayav the other times. Shemei ir bin b'yoyim v'vim b'layla, p'turim min sukkah bin b'yoyim v'vim b'layla. Very straightforward. Shemei ganes u'pradesim, those who watch gardens and orchards. P'turim bin b'yoyim v'vim b'layla. Why? Because their job is technically a 24-hour job. If they have these sukkah hasim, so let them bring their sukkah and all their stuff over there, and sit, live over there. Abai says, no, you don't do it because of Teshuvah came to duru, and they're not going to be able to be mekayim it that way. Rav Amar says, Pirza kar leganev, you're creating sort of an opening for the ganev. Pirza is really a breach, and you're creating an opportunity. My benai, what's the difference between Abai and Rava? The commentar, carry the peri. If he's watching a pile of fruits, then that's fine. You're not creating a pirza like Rava says. But for Abai, it would still be a problem because you're not going to be able to bring all your stuff there and live. Teshuvah came to duru. Rabbi said, thank you everybody for joining. Have a wonderful night.